I'm Barbara Burley, and I'm going to be talking to you about the wooden hair combs. Wooden hair combs are not common on most Roman sites due to their organic nature. But if wood does survive on the site, then combs are usually found. Sites in Rome and London, Carlisle, and Vindolanda have produced a number of combs. Due to the anaerobic or oxygen-free conditions at the Vindolanda site, wooden objects survive which date to the first 5 levels of occupation, from approximately AD 85 to the 130s. Over 150 boxwood hair combs have been found so far, many from the recent excavations. By looking at this collection, we can see some of the general trends in form and function of these everyday objects. First, let's look at the anatomy of an H comb, so named because it resembles the letter H. The vertical lines of the H are the terminals, and the horizontal line is the central bar. The H comb has 2 sets of teeth, one coarse and the other fine. You will also sometimes see the guidelines, just here, for carving the teeth. Not all combs show the same precision when carving, and sometimes the bases of the teeth cross over the guidelines, like here. The H comb can be further classified by looking at the terminals and the central bars. The sinuous terminal is the most common and simplest comb ending. Sometimes the ends of the terminal do not run parallel with the ends of the teeth. The D-shaped terminal, like this one, is the next shape. The plain or flat terminal is, as the name suggests, quite flat, and the teeth continue to the edge of the comb. Fretted combs are the least common and usually highly decorated and intricately carved, like this one. The central bars can also be categorized into different types. The plain narrow and the plain wide do not have any decoration. The only difference is that the wide, the central bar of the second type, is more than 10 millimeters. As a whole, the plain wide are not as high standard of workmanship as the plain narrow. The sunken cordon is produced by leaving a raised cord down the center and removing the wood on either side of the central bar. The teeth are left at the same level as the cord. The raised cordon is the opposite, leaving a raised cord down the center but narrowing the wood on the teeth. The compass-cut combs have a semicircular guidelines and tend to be larger combs overall. Decorated central bars come in many different motifs, including waves, stars, lines, and circle patterns. Many use more than one form of decoration. Central bars can also show maker's marks like these or have graffiti. The maker's marks are very faint and are best seen through magnification, as you can see in this picture. The Vindolanda collection now has 6 combs with maker's marks. It is also noticeable that the combs with maker's marks are of a very high quality. Some combs in the collection show other forms of modification. 3 combs have holes drilled in them. This would have been a very functional way to attach your comb and avoid loss. This comb shows that it has originally been a standard H comb, but it has had the coarse teeth removed and probably the terminals. This was intentional, leaving a decorative comb that could have been worn in the hair. This comb is the most elaborate comb from the collection. It has fretted terminals and a highly decorative central bar. A very thin sheet of copper alloy shows a standing figure in military dress with a shield and spear. The other side would have had a plate as well, but it has not survived. A similar comb has been found at Carlisle with a copper alloy plate shows a temple scene. The function of these combs would have first and foremost have undoubtedly been for detangling the hair, but the resemblance of modern knit combs suggests that they would have been useful for that purpose. This required the user to be able to identify their personal comb from those of other people. These small portable pieces of material culture would have been easy to pack and carry with you when your garrison was on the move. Also, they show that people had a disposable income and money spent on these functional but imported luxury goods was significant to the people of Vindolanda. Cleanliness was important to them, as we can see from other objects and the use of bathhouses on the frontier. But combs also relate to the ritual of the everyday, showing that dressing one's hair was an important signifier of identity. From the 3rd century, double-sided composite bone and antler combs became common in Britain, and this trend of material culture continues throughout the Viking period and the medieval. For more information about bone and antler combs, see Arthur McGregor's book, Bone, Antler, Ivory, and Horn, which was first published in 1985 and then reprinted in 2001.